I have a 33 Ford 5-window coupe. It's blown with a 502 Chevy big block in it. It's in primer, black primer. My son Jake and I built a 54 Ford rat rod pickup. It's chopped 11 inches. Right now I'm building a 38 Hudson. I sectioned it front to back. I narrowed the whole vehicle 10 inches. I don't have any high dollar equipment. You work with what you got. My name is Jim Frey and I build hot rods.
On Garage Hop, we're traveling miles and miles from garage to garage, looking at cool cars, talking to their builders, and telling their stories. I'm Mark Smith, host and creator of Garage Hop. On this show, we are all about showcasing the passion, the talent, and the drive of the everyday hot rod builder. From my garage to yours, I hope you enjoy the show. Smash that like button and subscribe for more. Meet Jim Frey, landscaper by day and hot rod builder by night. Jim has been building cars since he was a teenager. On this episode of Garage Hop, we find our way to a small town in rural Pennsylvania to visit Jim's garage, talk about his passion for hot rods, and to take a look at his rides.
I think I got started when I was right out of high school. I saw my dad working on stuff every day in the garage. And I was young, probably not quite as into it in the beginning. But then he introduced me to that movie, American Graffiti, and I was hooked. From then on, it's been hot rods. He comes up and gives me his vision, and he's working on his own stuff. So he's working on a 55 Chevy pickup truck, and he has a 32, all original 32 frame body Roadster. We had a 2-car garage, probably a little bit smaller than this. We fought over a lot of space and tools. There's not a lot of room, but we built some cars in this garage. It was pretty cool. He was building a 58 Corvette in that garage, along with a lot of other cars. He built a 37 Cabriolet, Ford Cabriolet. He built a number of different cars, but just like sons and fathers bicker a bit, it was a little rough, kind of like my kids with me, you know. Little garage, 2 projects, a lot going on, you know. So it was, you know, we fought sometimes, but he taught me how to do it.
What was your first build?
That 31 5-window, I had a guy paint it. We chopped it, and then I decided to tub it, which American Graffiti car wasn't tubbed, but we took it one step further.
Yeah.
And that was my first build, 31 5-window Ford coupe.
Jim's tribute to American Graffiti might have been his first build, but it wasn't his last. With the skills and knowledge he gained from working with his father in that small 2-car garage, Jim was able to build his own business, build his own garage, and continue his obsession with building cars. Although Jim eventually sold his 31 5-window, he never lost his passion for those old Fords.
This is a 33 Ford 5-window coupe. It's an original body. It's on an aftermarket TCI frame. It's got a 502 Chevy big block, 871 blown, Ford 9-inch rear in it, turbo 400 trans.
What kind of horsepower are we making this thing?
The way it's set now, probably about 850. It's stock 502 Chevy big block, and it's got the aluminum heads on it. The headers were built by Marty Dango. He does a lot of header work, really nice header work. 2 850 Holley carbs on it, 871 blower. And it's basically a stock 502, 502 horsepower from the factory. And then the blower gives you that much more. It's power brakes under the seat on the frame rail. You don't have anything up exposed. It's clean on the firewall.
What'd you do for wheels on this thing?
The ETs, old school spoke in the front. Nice look, nice gasser type look that I like. 6 inches out of the front and a 4.5 inch chop out of the back. So we raked it a little bit.
And what are you running for a rear end in this thing?
9 inch. Forget the gear ratio, it's been a while. I want to say 456, somewhere in there.
What'd you do with the exhaust on it?
The exhaust is pretty cool. Like I said, Marty Danko in Ivyland built the exhaust for me. But it has, if you can see it right here, it kicks back in and the exhaust runs through the car, underneath the car. If you take this plate off here, you can run open exhaust.
Yeah, I'm sure that sounds pretty good.
That sounds pretty good. I was going to take them off for you guys, but
I mean, it's only a couple screws. We could probably still do it.
it's 8 screws, yeah.
Jim's 33 was left unfinished. No shiny paint and no interior. It's raw, and you can feel every bit of the 800 plus horsepower.
I don't really have many tools. My dad gave me my first welder that I have today, the solar welder. I love that welder. Besides that, I just have some typical grinding wheels, cut-off saws, sawzalls. I have a pipe bender. I don't have any of the high-end tools. It's usually try to just come up with a way of making it here. Might not be perfect, but you start out with a vision and you try to create that. And I probably spend more time sitting here drinking a beer, looking at it and staring at it than I do actually working on it. I like doing things that I haven't seen. I'm sick of seeing the same crap at these shows, the same cars, same thing. That's why I'm into the rat rods, because you can do your creativity. When you're at a show and somebody comes up with a cool idea, it's like, wow, like, why didn't I think of that? That's cool.
Yeah,
that's the part I like. My son was like 15 years old, and we had the truck in the backyard, and I'm like, you want to do something with this truck? What do you want to do? You want to jack it up, drop it down? What do you want? I said, let's drop it down, chop it. So he agreed, and we started working on that. He since went in the Marines. I pretty much finished it off the last couple of years. They're never finished, but close.
Jim's passion for his family is built into his 1954 Ford truck rat rod. Jim worked with his son through his teenage years, just as his father had done with him, teaching him the art, the craft, and the skills needed to create a unique ride. They didn't just build a rat rod pickup. What they built was a connection between a father and son. It represents the moments in time spent together, the laughter, the long nights, and every busted knuckle in between.
It started off in my backyard. It was just a pickup truck on a flatbed with a flatbed on it. And my son was 15 years old at the time, and we talked about building something, doing something with it. He spent a lot of time on this vehicle too at a young age, and he did a lot of the work. So And the name came from him because, you know, a typical 15-year-old kid, I always said, you know, why are you out here? You got such a bad attitude. And one thing led to another, and, you know, it came out rude attitude. That was named after him. It's just your typical small block Chevy. There's nothing special about that. The exhaust we came up with, we were so tight to the A-arms that we flipped the hugger headers upside down.
Okay.
And ran them up. Now they run up through the hood, and then they can run out towards the back. And by switching this lever inside, it manually switches them from. What that does is that closes the plate and forces the exhaust out the back, or it opens the plate and it shoots the exhaust out the top. Okay. That was something we just kind of came up with after staring at it for a while.
Okay.
They do the cutouts nowadays,
Yeah.
they're like $600 applications.
Push a button.
Push a button. This ain't quite that. You got to pull a hanger made for this one. I got the air ride. That we had to play with. I really wanted to get the stance when it's on the ground. I wanted it touching the ground. Mm-hmm. So we really had to push it to get it that low. I sectioned 5 inches of the front fenders out, so it's missing the bottom 5 inches.
Okay.
The firewall had to be set back a little bit to get the small block in there. I don't even know what truck it was. It was back in the woods. I ran back there with a portable Sawzall, and I cut the cut the bumper off of it, and cut the bumper in half, and used it for the back and the front of the vehicle.
Tell me about the eyeglasses up there on the roof.
The eyeglasses are for when you pull up to the red light and you're the first at the red light. It's chopped so low you can't see the red light. So I drill a hole in the roof and hit them with those glasses. Gets a lot of attention. People wonder why I put glasses on my roof.
I'm sure.
My neighbor gave me the seat. It's out of his Nova. So I used a bench seat out of a Nova. The steering wheel was made out of some chain. Made some cup holders out of some exhaust, some of this leftover exhaust.
Okay.
I went to the junkyard and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the back of the truck. And I saw a 55 Chevy, but it wasn't for sale. It was somebody owned it. It was sitting there. And it gave me the idea of putting 55 Chevy tail fins on a Ford pickup. But I couldn't find a donor, so I made the sides. I pretty much made the whole bed, but we made the sides in 2-piece, and we rolled them, 4 pieces, and made the bed rails. The running boards are off of a 40 Ford convertible. And the wood I got from the guy at the gym that owns the gym down the street. He said he had some old barn board. He gave me that. So we used that. One of the nice touches is it gets a lot of attention is the gas fill. This is actually a fill for an 18-gallon gas tank under there. So it's kind of fun to screw with the gas attendants and tell them to fill it up, and they wonder where 17 gallons goes. But the original tailgate was wider, so when I chopped it down, I had to cut the letters out to remake the Ford because they were in separate panels. Okay. So we cut them down, and then this tilts down. And you got your 4-link and your coilovers and all your suspension.
Is this the original paint?
Cab's the original paint from here down. When I chopped the roof, I had to section the roof into 4 sections because you were spreading it this way and you were spreading it this way. So by the time I got all that body work done, I had to try to recreate this look up top here. So I painted it and sanded it through and did some of that old school rat rod work.
I like the bottle opener.
Yeah, it's kind of on a weird angle, so it kind of sprays a little bit. It should be more vertical, but we'll work
It's a
on
design
that.
flaw in this
Yeah,
thing.
there's definitely.
If it's the only one, then you're
I
okay.
had to bring up that. A lot of work went into this one, and the treat was when we finally got it done, to take it out and see the attention that it gets. It's pretty cool.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Next on Garage Hop, we're going to continue talking with Jim to learn more about his unique 1938 Hudson rat rod build. We'll head on down to Jim's dad's garage and take a look at that beautiful black Roadster. And let's see what he's got going on with that 1954 Chevy pickup.
One more time, this is the last one for good measure.
From my garage to yours, I hope you enjoy the show. So crush that like button and subscribe for more. I did say crush.
That's it.